What's up, everybody? It's CMP with Craftmaster Productions and the new improved Studio One Tutorials.com. Don't forget to stop by Studio One Tutorials, pick up your premium membership. It is 50 cents a day. And also, please do not forget to stop by CMPKits.com. Get yourself some MIDI, get yourself some trap chords for Scalar, get yourself the new Soul of Tick Pack, and get it today. Also, please stop by my Instagram at Craftmaster3. Hit me up, send me a follow. That way, if you need to get in touch with me, it's the easiest, fastest, quickest way to get a response. The easiest, fastest, quickest way to get a response. And today we're going to be using presets from my favorite sound designer in the game. This is Justin. Make sure he has been so gracious to give me an affiliate link. So make sure that you use the affiliate link in the description if you enjoy the sounds in this video and you want to support me and you want to support Justin. The lexicon pack for Analog Lab 4 and 5. Analog Lab 4 and 5. Amazing sounds, especially for you guys that want to make those trippy, really vintage sounding R&B loops. And we're going to get into it right now. So today I want to show you guys something that has to do with music theory, but less about music theory, more about composition. Music theory is when we look at music, something that's already been written, and we analyze it and we say, haha, I see what you did there, right? And we do that in hopes of not making a rule saying that that's what you have to do all the time when you make music. We do that so that we can put that in our musical lexicons. Shout out, right? So we could put that in our mental Rolodex, and we could say, okay, you know what? If I get stuck somewhere and I'm kind of low on inspiration, I can draw from that technique, right? And the technique I'm going to show you guys is going to make doing melodies infinitely easier for you. And this is stepwise and skipwise motion, right? So I'm going to play it first and then we'll show it to you on the piano roll. So a stepwise motion is by moving up a degree in the scale. So I'm gonna play C minor scale, and I'm gonna play the notes in the scale. The one note, which is C, the two note, which is D, and then the three note, which is E flat. It sounds like this. Right? So if I was to move up the scale in a stepwise motion, it would sound like this. So that's moving up the minor scale using the scale degrees. And you can use this to write melodies, right? Once you understand what a good melody is. Now, what a good melody is a good melody is something that's memorable, it's something that's repetitive, it's something that has form, right? It has a shape when you see it in the piano roller on the staff. And it is something that has a good mix of stepwise and skipwise motion, right? So typically, when you hear a melody and you think, or you're writing a melody and you think that it's repetitive, it's either because you're using too much stepwise motion or you're using too much skipwise motion. And the key to being able to write and to be able to write every single day of your life, because you should be able to write every single day of your life. This should not be something that's hard, especially for a musician, especially if you want to do it professionally. We write every single day. Okay. What you do is you just understand that you gotta break it up, right? So if I did this melody and I was like, we would get sick of that really fast, even though it's musically correct and you put an 808 under it and maybe it would sound cool trap. But watch what happens when I go from the one, two to the three, and then I skip a note in the scale. I'm going to skip the fourth and I'm going to use the five. Check this out, right? That instantly sounds like something way more usable. So let's take a look at it in the piano roll so that we can really see what's going on for my guys that um, maybe don't have a MIDI keyboard or aren't comfortable using it yet, right? So let's go ahead and we'll drag this up, and I'm going to take this up to an eighth note, and we'll just go ahead, set our scale quantize up. We're going to set this to the natural minor scale so we can't click in any bad notes. Um, we've got this to eighth degrees, and Here's the 1 2. Right, go up the scale. Right. So what you want to do to make your to make your melody more you know more musical and more likable and less repetitive and robotic is not only do you participate in using a skipwise motion when you move on to your next note, right? But you also change up the rhythm. So how you see you're moving in eighth notes. So the next thing that you could do is like think of it like a quarter note spacing. Add this five note here, right? And then you get something when you loop your melody, you get something that sounds like this. So now you're still saying like, oh, okay, well that's kind of repetitive. All right, so this is the first building block of your melody. So what you can do is you can repeat this out. We'll repeat it out 4 times, okay, and then we'll look at it and remembering what makes a good melody. A melody has form. A melody is repeatable, and it has a mix of stepwise and skipwise motion, right? So you can say that this is the basis of your melody, right? And then what you do here is you're just going to add some variation, all right? So you could say you go back down to this 3. And that sounds a lot better. But we could continue to build on this, right? So now we're in the composition phase of what we're doing. So we'll repeat this here, and then we can go ahead and continue to add to our shape as we go up, down, up, down. You want to continue to make this same motion, right? So now you've taken a simple 4 notes, okay, and what you've done is you're working within a range, right? Good melodies have ranges, so we're in the range of an octave, okay. So we've got a good range, we've got a good shape. We go up and then down, and then up and then down, so that nothing sounds random. It sounds musical. This is what you call a form, right? This is the shape of your melody. Um, and then what we also have is we have something that's repetitive with these parts, but then we also add variation with these two parts, right? So you got this nice 2 bar melody that evolves, and this is the basis. This is the basis of writing great melodies, and you can apply if you apply this way of thinking to each piece of composition. You'll never get stuck. You will never get stuck. And this is just a small preview from our new product coming out of Studio One Tutorials. It's called Sample Class. It is a class that takes you from knowing nothing about making samples, right, to being an expert, right, to being on my level as making samples. I'm talking about, we have 22 videos, right, on composition, right? We go through this philosophy, which is called melodic composition. Which is starting with a melody. We go through the other side of composition, which is harmonic composition, which means starting with chords. Okay, we we go and we interpolate classic songs to make our own complex compositions, to be able to put them in our own composition packs. I show you guys how to set up your Shopify, or if you want to do BeatStars, we show that that's an option too. I show you guys how to make amazing covers like I do inside of Photoshop. The different secret inspiration sources that I use to get my covers from, that mimic the great library music of the past. I go in how to use guitar pedals, how to make proper chains, how to, how to set up your gain structure so that you're not distorting your guitar pedal without having to buy anything extra. I show you how to use a patch bay. And then for you guys that don't have any hardware, we focus in on how to emulate all those hardware techniques with attainable software that everyone has, and that's inside sample class. So I want you guys to look out for that. It's coming very, very soon. This is CMP with Craftmaster Productions, Studio1Tutorials.com. I want you guys to keep it simple, but don't be basic, and we will see you on the next one.